Hi, I'm gonna be reviewing a video called I Investigated Men's Morning Routines.
Okay, so in the last couple of weeks I was doing a holy amount of morning routine videos, specifically the men's morning routines.
He eats a banana and then rubs the peel on his face.
And so instead of doing my usual video essays, I thought, why not become one of those guys, you know? Why not try the best morning routine for 2025? The one that, according to the internet, is supposed to make me hot, rich, and disciplined, and radiate the energy of the man that only drinks black coffee and talks about stoicism at random times of the day. First step was the cold swim. I did it. It felt great. It felt transformative. I feel like I've reached a new level of enlightenment.
If it felt great, why didn't you film yourself while you did it? Yeah, go inside of the water, take your camera with you, and film yourself how great it feels. Because then we would see how horrible it felt, how much you hated it.
Now, before I freestyle it, I need to move on to step 2, which is the workouts. So I'll see you there, but...
Even from the back, you could see that she didn't want to go inside of the cold water. Because in nature, cold water means most likely death.
Before that, I need to talk to you about today's sponsor, Aura.
No, thank you.
So in his book, La Fabrique du Muscle, economist and Chad Guillaume Vallée compared the gym to a factory. And you can kind of see it in the title of the book, La Fabrique, which means fabrication, so the crafting of the muscle. So in this book, he looked at what purpose serves the gym in the context of our economy, so a capitalist economy. He says that the gym bears a lot of similarity with the factory, and when we really think about it, that comparison actually makes sense. Both the gym and the...
That's interesting. I have a video called Gyms Are Death Factories on Telegram. Yeah, exactly. That's what I explained in the video. It's a factory where you go and die, essentially. You reduce your lifespan.
The factory had a bunch of heavy machines, both organize people in space, promoting a mix of collaboration and competition. I mean, when you think about it, when you enter the gym, you often come into...
Yeah, exactly. You're competing with other slaves who can bench press more or deadlift more. All absolutely for no reason. You do it in your 20s, 30s, already less in your 30s because you have less and less energy. You also used up your testosterone. You have low testosterone. And then you stop anyway. And then your body goes more or less back to normal, depending on how much muscle mass you have. Some, of course, you may keep. That's it. It's completely pointless because you will stop eventually anyway. So why do you do it now in the first place in your 20s, 30s? You're gonna stop in your 40s, at the latest in your 50s. And all that you will have done will be reduce your lifespan.
A space that is quite dark, that feels like you're outside of reality. Then you have to tap to pass the front desk. And
yes, that is true. It's done like that on purpose. You do enter kind of like a different reality. You're cut off from the outside.
then you head to the changing rooms to change into your...
Yeah, you sign in when you go through the place with the card, the entrance, as if you enter your work. Yeah, it's a place where you work out.
your uniform, and then you go...
Work out. I never even thought about it. Work outside, kind of. It's like your work on the outside. Yeah, a work out. Outside of the work. You still go and work after work.
to your workstation, you set up your program, whatever you're going to do that day, you time yourself, organize your session into different tasks.
Yeah, exactly. All the reps and sets, exactly what you should be doing, none of which you want to do, but which you were brainwashed to do.
And then once that is done, you go back to the changing room and then live at the gym. How is that different from a factory? Now, if that...
Not really different. Both are really bad. Both are slavery. Exactly.
comparison was absolute, why would people pay to go to the gym? Don't they have better things to do? Well, according to Guillaume Vallée,
they have a lot of better things to do. They don't even want to be there. They just get brainwashed because firstly, they get taught that it's going to make them more attractive, which is a lie. And secondly, even if not that, they believe that it's healthy. If people would understand how unhealthy it is to go to the gym, how much it reduces your lifespan, and that it doesn't make you more attractive anyway, then nobody would go. So the whole business, and it is a business, is based on a lie. It's $1 billion business.
A lot of similarities between the gym and the factory, but there's also one difference. For him, that difference is actually the reason why more and more people go to the gym, especially men. What is it then? Well, in the gym, the person has control. They have control over their program, their schedule, their body, and their results. You don't have that in a factory.
Sort of, but at the same time you're controlled by your insecurity, which is why you are there in the first place most of the time. Especially if a guy overdoes it, he uses steroids.
So now we have this combination of Taylorism and the internet, which means specialization and dematerialization, which means that our work feels quite unreal, untangible, unfulfilling. Even manual workers might never see the end product of the chain they are part of.
When is work fulfilling? Almost never. If you do something yourself, maybe, self-employed in some way, and you really love what you're doing, which is almost never the case, but 99.99% of the time, you're creating something, some kind of products for the company. The boss looks over you, what you're doing, and then they sell the products. Or whatever you're doing, you're creating something for somebody else, not for yourself. It's nothing that you naturally want. So how would it be fulfilling? It makes no sense. If you work at the butcher and you get to eat the meat yourself, maybe, I guess you could say.
Because, those products might be sent thousands of miles away. A lot of us do the tasks that we're assigned without really knowing what the outcome will be. We do what the manager sends, we send it back, and then that's it. It just goes away. So as a worker, you can't really have the satisfaction of the job being done. You can't look at the end product and be like, that's it, that's what I did. Because it just doesn't work that way anymore. However, you can find that satisfaction in the gym. When the session is over, it's over. You can look at the weights that you've lifted, you can track all of that, or you can just look at yourself in the mirror and do a little selfie or whatnot. That's the pose for the fit girls, right? I used to be one of them, actually.
Wait, what the fuck, man? I just wanted to look up how old she is. I was absolutely sure that she is in her 40s, for sure. Is this some kind of mistake? It says that she's 26. What? Wait, this can't be real. I was sure that she's in her 40s. I just thought early 40s or late 40s. That she's 26 wasn't even a possibility in my head. She kind of looks like she has slightly gray hair already. Or maybe it's the lighting or something. But her skin, face looks very old. Wow. Is she into this kind of stuff? These exercise routines and whatnot? Wow, that's crazy, man. Exercise ages women way more than men. Because men at least have testosterone. They're kind of made for physical activities, but women are not at all. Wow. Wow. If this is true, this is insane. This is the worst aging I've ever seen.
Time for breakfast. So I have 3 types of supplements. Iron.
How is she 26 years old? No way. It can't be right. That's nuts.
Vitamin B12 and vitamin D.
What? How is it possible, man? No way. There must be some kind of mistake. Is she on a vegan diet and exercises 10 hours a day? That's the only way to explain it.
Because I barely eat meat and I saw on the...
Fuck, man. I'm laughing, but it's also fucking fuck. Oh my god, man, this is so bad. Jesus, the French people of today, man. Mon Dieu. You are known for duck liver, that fatty duck liver. Okay, the way you treat the ducks, that's questionable, but whatever. Do whatever you want to, right? Oh, the raw dairy butter. You make the raw butter. You guys are known for it, the French. You have the good animal foods. Besides the stupid croissants and whatever, as far as food in general goes. Man, what the hell? Jesus, man. French people used to be some of the best people on earth. In Europe, for sure. One of the best countries. Healthiest people, attractive, well developed. What the fuck is this, man?
Internet that it was good to supplement yourself with those things. Now, I'm not gonna lie, after doing the research for this video, I realized that these things might not really be helpful, or at least not as much as they say they are. I bought them because I wanted to avoid deficiencies, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel good after I take them, you know?
Then you need to eat meat.
I feel like I'm healthier. And to be fair, I'm not the only one thinking this. According to the National Institutes of Health, the value of the global dietary supplements market was estimated to be worth nearly $152 billion in 2021. According to the latest Statistica report, the global market is expected to be worth $300 billion.
Yeah, because people eat worse and worse diets, they are deficient, so the answer is always supplements instead of natural food, which is the only way to actually get the nutrients and especially digest them and absorb them, assimilate them.
By 2028. So yeah, supplements are yet another tool that give the illusion of control, of self-determination. The growth of the industry is coherent with what we said in the previous part. You know, we said that the gym was one of those rare spaces where we feel that we have control over our lives. And we also said that the atmosphere of self-determination can be redirected towards a political
Crazy wrinkles if she's actually 26, absolutely not.
goal. So it starts with the body, but it extends far beyond it. We could call it body politics. I did not invent it. Body politics refers to the idea that the
Really also sagging skin, a lack of collagen, super bad deterioration, really bad.
body is the recipient or the mirror of society. I'll give you two examples. First, the body of a woman. You see, that body might have been changed to fit beauty norms with plastic surgery, or it might have been hurt by sexual violence. You won't necessarily see it. So basically the body mirrors the way we view or treat women. Now, something else really struck me in those videos. The social isolation. Social life is the first thing to sacrifice in the process of self-optimization. I mean, I remember listening to some of the self-help gurus, I think it was Graham Stephan, bragging about the fact that he worked very hard during his 20s, didn't socialize, anything like that. Now, this guy lives in the middle of nowhere with his editor and makes weird podcasts. Like, how is that success? I know having a
Yeah, exactly. How is that success? He would be successful with a big family.
boring life is cool now, but I'm wondering if we haven't gone too far. I actually thought about making this video after I read this article by Dazed. It's titled, "Is anyone having sex after their 12-step nighttime skincare routine?" We invest so much time in self-optimization that it's actually ruining our social lives. And again, this
Yeah, that's also nonsense. The only thing you need for your skin is a good diet and sunlight. Eat a lot of organs, raw fat, eat an animal-based raw diet, and you will be fine.
the planet's burning, we're all gonna die, but at least I can take my supplements and feel healthy, and that makes me happy. Talking about death, I think it's time for some meditation. Okay, I'm gonna follow this protocol. It's only 5 minutes. I have to pay attention to...
There's nothing wrong with the natural meditation when you simply chill under a tree and enjoy the sunlight, the water, the sounds of the birds. But if you sit in your slave apartment and simply cross your legs and then dream of your chakras or imagine how there's lights floating around and how you're at peace, then you're completely delusional. Then you really have some problems.
Breathing in, breathing out, focusing on my heartbeats, and just relax. Ideally, you want to remove any intrusive thoughts, but...
How can you focus on your heartbeat but relax at the same time? That makes no sense.
I know myself, that's why I don't meditate that much. It just comes in all of a sudden. But anyway, we're gonna still try it, okay?
Who does that? Where have you ever seen a human being in nature do anything like that? That's so stupid. If you would be alone and you would do that, just some animal could come from the back and eat you. It's just dumb.
Okay, gosh, it's only been 5 minutes and I feel so chilled out. I'm sure you can hear it just by the sound of my voice. I'm literally crying. I'm not used to the light anymore, but anyway. In the hermeneutics of the subject, philosopher Michel Foucault revisited Socrates and Plato to better understand what they meant by the well-known precepts. know yourself, which self-help gurus live by. He realized that the expression was actually related to another concept, a Greek concept called epimeleia eotou, or in other words, the care of oneself. According to Foucault, epimeleia eotou is an attitude towards the self, but also towards others, the world. As we said earlier, this notion was used by Socrates to advise young men to work.
There is only one way to help yourself. It's to follow your intuition, instinct also. What else? You simply do what's good for you, and you don't do what's bad for you. That's the way you help yourself. How else? And if you help yourself, then it will be nicer for people to be around you. It will be a pleasure, because you will feel good yourself. That's it. And what these self-help gurus promote is to do what's bad for you and not do what's good for you. To live counterintuitively, to go against your intuition. Yeah, that's why it's wrong. That's why none of it works.
Now, I'm actually working on developing my masculine energy, so what should I do?
This is where I take my time in the mornings. I only use quality products from my own brand, Higurumi, where I know...
Yeah, of course, they want to sell you something. I could somewhat understand that you want to use shampoo. You can use clay also, or raw eggs, something else, which is at least somewhat natural. But body wash, I've never understood this. I don't think that I've ever used body wash in my whole life. Body wash. So it's just soap for the skin. Why would you put that on your skin? Why do you need that? Do you smell so bad? Are you that toxic? Especially if you eat raw meat, why would you need soap or body wash? Like, what exactly are you washing off? Like, what is there? I've never used that shit in my life as far as I remember. For sure not in the last 10 years since I started eating raw meat. And what am I supposed to wash there? Then you must have some weird toxic body.
All my products, because I designed them, I make sure
Yeah, you designed them for sure, man.
they have no BPA in the plastic bottle.
Okay, so I need to buy his products. Oh, and he also has a
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
paid creator community that has been closed, unfortunately, but he's opening 10 slots to selected few, so if you book a slot, you might get in. Yeah, don't forget that a lot of those guys are actual grifters. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Most of them, yeah. Very few are not.
Okay, we're reaching the end of this morning routine. I'm almost ready to work. I just want to conclude by saying a few things, or at least compile the things that we said. But yeah, I feel like the obsession that we have with the gym, with supplements, is symptomatic of a society in which we feel that we're losing control, we're losing connection. We often hear that in times of crisis, uncertainty, people turn in on themselves or romanticize the past. And while it is true in a way, those times of uncertainty and fear can also trigger new forms of solidarities. When I say something like this, I can't help but think about the Palestinian people. They have responded to fear with resilience and creativity, creating systems to compensate for the lack of resources and infrastructures. I find it deeply inspiring, motivating. I find it so much.
Well, that's interesting because they don't go and work out because of their situation. Whereas people who are lost, bored, I guess you could say, because they're not doing what they naturally want to do, they feel like they are not allowed to, they go to the gym and obsess over their routines and specific kind of sleeping routines. They time everything or make lists. Yeah, it's exactly what an animal does when he's enslaved, living in captivity. That's just a symptom of you being enslaved.
More empowering than those morning routine videos, because it makes me want to be a better person for myself, but also for others. I'm still young, but the older I get, the more I realize how outwardness is everything. This is the key to happiness. Before self-actualization, before wealth, before all those things. You want to be a citizen living in the context of everything that happens around you and happened before you. You don't want to be a random dude with a mic stuck to their mouth 24/7, living in the middle of nowhere, so that you can retire at 40 and remain lonely for the rest of your life. Anyway.
Yep, that's a very good point.
Really need to go now, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This one was a bit more personal, a bit less structured, but I'm sure a lot of you will relate. We're all on a journey. I won't judge you for your present situation, but I will judge you if after watching this video, you don't spend at least 10 seconds thinking about how to bring more outwardness in your life, if that makes sense. This morning routine was supposed to make me super healthy, but as you can tell by my voice, I'm super sick. But anyway, I just...
Because of the cold water, yeah? Exactly. Because the cold makes you sick, yeah.
I'm going to conclude this video by saying a big thank you to my patrons.
She seems like a sweet girl, but she's not eating the way her ancestors ate. Otherwise, she wouldn't look like that. She should be eating a lot of the real French products. The raw milk butter, the raw milk itself, maybe she could drink also. There's also all kinds of other raw animal foods. They also eat a lot of steak tartare in France. And she doesn't eat a lot of meat at all. And if you don't eat meat, you don't eat fat. You have trouble producing collagen also. Your hormones are messed up. You may become infertile even. Can become overweight, underweight, depending on how your diet is exactly what you do. Yeah, this is what you get when you simply eat bad food. Anyway, she was right about some stuff. Yeah, it wasn't such a bad video. And I liked how she pointed out how the gym is like a factory. It is like a death factory. You check in, sign up, you go inside, you've got all the machines. Everybody's miserable, pushing, pulling metal. Slaves comparing themselves to each other. In the last 10 years, they also pulled women into this horrible death factory, and now they even destroy themselves, and it's even way worse for them because they age even more at the gym if they do the same or as much as they can, because they don't have testosterone as much. Of course, they have testosterone. We also have estrogen, but in different amounts. They're just not made for it whatsoever. You can for sure argue that men would be doing some stuff here and there because our bodies are made for physical activities, which also have a limit, of course. Not what you'll see at the gyms today. Point being, all that you do at these gyms is just create more wrinkles and reduce your lifespan. That's it. And you become less attractive. You create dark eye circles, under eye bags, and no matter what you eat, you will always look worse. Even when I look back at videos of myself from years ago when I went to the gym, I had some under eye bags. Maybe it was also because of the heat, because you sweat a lot. But even in some videos where I wasn't also at the gym working out, it wasn't even warm outside, I still looked worse. It just makes you look really bad. It makes you look unhealthy. And at the time I was eating almost only organs. I should have been super healthy in my late 20s. So even if you eat a super good diet, the gym just fucking crushes you. It crushes your soul. And she's also right about all of the other routines. Even scheduling your sleep is super strange. You just sleep as long as you want to. And also, people schedule when they are allowed to eat, what they are allowed to eat. Just eat what you want to, whenever you want to, how much you want to, as long as the food is natural. For fuck's sake, man. It's that simple. Listen to your body. Live intuitively. It's the only thing that these guys should teach other guys. All of these self-help gurus. You tell them, you want to do something? Does it feel good for you? You do it. You don't want to do that? You don't want to force yourself to lift metal, to run outside for no reason, to wake up at 5 a.m., to eat some garbage which tastes horrible, take your powders, bitter supplements, then don't do it. That's it. And your health would just turn upside down. Because most people today are super unhealthy. You do what I just told you, and you will be super healthy. That's as simple as it is. Thanks for watching, guys.